What's up, everybody? Welcome back to State of the Nova Nation. My name is Pat Ralph.
And I'm Alexander Hernandez.
So today's our last episode before Christmas break, and I can't believe, Alex, sorry, our last show for the semester.
I know, I'm kind of sad.
I know, me too. You know, it feels like it's already our last week of class, and then Christmas break, and we're gone for a whole month.
Christmas. That's what we're getting to.
I know.
All of the finals and the presentations and the papers, it all leads up to the Christmas.
Yep, and it's all about it. We've got papers to do, tests to take, presentations to give. Yeah. You know, it's a lot going on. But I like to think that while people are watching us, is that we're like their entertainment or a little study break from what they're doing, whatever if they're writing a paper, they're studying for an exam. They're like their little break during the week. So glad to hopefully
I find us entertaining.
I think we are too. I mean, I think we're probably providing some entertainment for them at home too tonight. So it's good to hear we can help break it up a bit. You know, the strenuous and stressful finals week. You know. So tonight on tonight's program, we're going to be talking some men's basketball and volleyball. The volleyball team just wrapped up their season this past weekend, and the men's basketball team got a big win over their rival St. Joe's. The Hawk is still dead. And, of course, they have a big games this weekend against Oklahoma and LaSalle.
Tonight's weekly conversation is with Darby Goodwin of the Villanova swim team, who will talk to us about the state of the swim team this semester.
But first, let's send it over to Lexi Nall, who has more on how the volleyball team finished up their season this past weekend.
Villanova women's volleyball had their first NCAA game since 1997 on Friday. Now, unfortunately, this game did end in a crushing defeat for the team, and the season is now over. The Wildcats and the Flyers battled it out in 4 closely contested sets. It was a back-and-forth game all throughout. Villanova lost 25-21, 24-26, 23-25, and 23-25. Allie Loitz led the Wildcats with 17 kills. Claire Cottrell and Amanda Peterson-Henry each had 12 kills. Emma Pettit tallied 42 assists, 10 digs, 4 blocks, and 5 kills. Elena Turner led Dayton with a game-high 24 kills. Villanova finishes a great season with a 25-9 record. I'm joined now by sports analyst Chris Stanzial. Chris, help me break this down. What happened on Friday?
Sure, Lexi. Villanova traveled to Penn State to take on the Dayton Flyers. You know, a very good team from the A-10. They pretty much dominated that whole conference. They haven't lost since September 11th. So it was a tough game going in. What happened was in the first set, Villanova was able to take it back and forth the whole time. In the second set, it was back and forth the whole time. However, Dayton was able to get a stranglehold of the set in extra time, where they were able to take the set 26-24 instead of the usual 25 points needed to win. And then in the third and fourth set, they were able to take those as well, and they were able to complete the victory. With that win for Dayton, they went on to face Penn State, and then Penn State was able to win as well. One thing to note, though, the game was at Penn State, so we were hoping that Villanova was able to, you know, continue their home field advantage, even though it wasn't exactly at home. It was close enough, same state. Maybe they were able to build upon that success, and unfortunately, that was not able to happen.
I mean, so we were just talking, literally just talking about how fabulous this team has been. I mean, we did a report on them right here. So what do you think? Like, how have they been performing this season?
Oh, they did a great job. They were picked to finish 7th in the Big East, and that really lit a fire under this team. You know, they had great senior leadership, and that really led to, you know, the great things that this team was able to do, especially at home. They were 12-0, and they were able to beat top seed Creighton at home, and that's something that they were the only Big East team to do that, and they had a great Big East tournament run, able to get to the final, and then obviously, as we mentioned before, getting into the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1997.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. And you just mentioned Creighton, so who do we watch now? Who's big in the conference?
Oh, yeah, for next year, Creighton's definitely the hands-on favorite, and it's probably not even close. Xavier's returning the Big East Player of the Year. Marquette, also a Big East tournament team. They're going to be returning a lot of girls who are going to be very good for them. Villanova, you know, they got a great cast here, and that's really the outlook for the Big East. And, you know, they got 4 top teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so what do you think then? What do we have to look forward to with these girls going forward?
Oh, yeah, sure. So, I mean, the team is graduating a lot of seniors, but they do have a great core. As I mentioned, Allie Loitz, Claire Crutchfield's a returning senior, Gabby Pethakoukis, who returned from cancer this year, and that was a fantastic story, especially on top of this team's success. Amanda Peterson-Henry, a really great player, as a freshman, and they got a nice recruiting class coming in as well.
Well, that's so great. I'm looking forward to it. We congratulate our women's volleyball team, and we look forward to another fantastic season. Thank you. Back to you guys in the studio.
Unfortunately, the women's volleyball team's season came to an end this past weekend when they lost to Dayton in the NCAA tournament. But they had a great season, and we're really proud of all they have accomplished.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's been a great season. It's the first time they've been, I think, since like 1997, which
yeah.
you talked about. Yeah, and this is just, as we talked about them all the time, their senior class has been through it all, and you really hope that this is the first of many great seasons to come for Villanova.
Exactly. It can only go up from here.
Exactly. Maybe next year, as you were saying earlier, that maybe they'll be lifting the trophy, you know?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Maybe the Big East and maybe the NCAA.
Yeah, we're going to take it all.
Oh, yeah. And it would be great to see like another, because as I said, we always hear about the basketball and football and lacrosse, and it'd be great to have another great program rise up and become a powerhouse of the school.
Exactly.
So it's great to see that. Now let's throw it over to Kristen McGrath, who has more on how the men's basketball team did this past week.
Villanova participated in the first time at the Pearl Harbor Invitational this past Monday, where they suffered their first loss to number 7 ranked Oklahoma, losing 55-78. The Wildcats played in Block Arena and just couldn't get it going. They were 4 for 32 from long range in the loss. Daniel Ochefu finished with 8 points and 10 rebounds. Josh Hart and Phil Booth had 10 points each. For Oklahoma, Buddy Hield had 18 points and 4 rebounds for the Sooners. Isaiah Cousins almost had a triple-double with 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists. So tonight I have the pleasure of having Larry break down the game for us. So now the first thing, at least I noticed, was the three-pointers. They were a little off for Villanova. How'd you feel about them?
Absolutely. It was a tough game shooting the long ball. 4 for 32 from the three-point line. That's a lot of threes attempted, but that's very few three-pointers made, obviously. Man, 4 three-pointers made against such a prolific offense like Oklahoma just isn't going to get it done on the offensive end. I think what was so surprising is that a lot of the three-pointers they took were open shots. They weren't bad shots. They weren't always forcing the case from 3. Sometimes they were just missing point-blank shots. So, those nights are going to happen when you're a three-point shooting team like Villanova and when you like to shoot them up. I think what Villanova needs to do now is adjust their style mid-game, right? So if they are shooting and not hitting their shots, they need to be able to attack the paint and kind of change their style and change the way that they find points.
Right, so their offense struggled just as much as their defense, I think. How'd you feel about the defense tonight?
The defense was actually, I think, more concerning because I think along the perimeter, guys just weren't closing out hard enough. And that's really an issue for a lot of these teams that we see in the Big East. We'll have a lot of good shooting teams like Creighton, Xavier, who Villanova will have to play going forward. And really, you just have to close out harder. You have to close out quicker. I think Oklahoma was just a step quicker than us that entire game. Just beat us to stepping into shots and everything like that. So I think Villanova just has to work a little bit on their quickness, a little bit on their toughness along the perimeter.
So moving forward, what can they learn from this game? I know the conditions weren't exactly ideal. There was no air conditioning in the gym. It was kind of a weird gym, but Oklahoma also had to play in that gym. So it's not exactly the gym's fault, but what can they do moving forward, do you think?
Right. I think honestly they have to get mad at this point. I think they have to recognize that something wasn't working for them in that game. And part of it was kind of their game plan, but part of it was just, showing up to a big game. And I think that's kind of an attitude change that this team needs to have. These are a group of great guys. They're nice guys. They're a lot of fun. But they need to kind of have a mean streak now, I think. And that maybe is what we can compare with the NC State loss last year, as well as the loss to Oklahoma this year.
Right. So they've got LaSalle coming up. They've got some great shooters on their team. How can they kind of adjust the defense, make sure those threes are dropping for that game?
Right. I mean, Jordan Price is the main guy for LaSalle. At one point was the second leading scorer in the country. So, they're going to have to lock him down. But I think overall, LaSalle just isn't nearly as talented of a team as Oklahoma. Let's not forget Oklahoma is one of the best teams in the country, probably the best in the Big 12 Conference. So I think, LaSalle won't be as much of a challenge, but at the same time, I'd like to see Villanova go out and have a mean streak and blow LaSalle out.
And we got to remember, sometimes Villanova tends to play down to these other teams, especially against Oklahoma, since they are such a great team. They kind of give it their all, but we have to make sure they don't play down to these lower teams like LaSalle, right?
Absolutely, and that's kind of all the Big 5 teams are pretty average this year. It's a little bit better than last year's Big 5. But at the same time, yeah, they have to show up to these games. At the same time, they've blown out teams like East Tennessee State, so they're not really proving anything with a LaSalle victory. I would say the Virginia game coming up, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, is going to be the main redemption game for the Wildcats.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Larry, for being with us. And come on out to the Pavilion on Sunday at 5 when Villanova takes on LaSalle.
Despite the fact it was a tough loss for the Wildcats, it was a great non-conference test. Next up is LaSalle at home on Sunday in a Big 5 rivalry. So, unfortunately, we didn't get the win on Monday.
But Oklahoma's a tough team, so you got to give them credit. They did play pretty well, so.
Yeah, and you got to admit, as I said, it's a tough non-conference game. We want to play harder non-conference opponents because these are the type of teams we're going to be playing in March when you play in the Big East tournament and, most importantly, in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
If we want to cut down the nets and win the national championship, this is what we got to do.
Which is what we want to do.
This is what we want to do.
So it was a good lesson to be learned.
So it was a good game, good team, and just, as I said, one game, you got to get ready for the next. LaSalle at home. And we're playing Virginia later in the month, so that's another good test for this team. So I think it's ultimately, in the long run, it may hurt right now, but in the long run, it's going to be better that you have these tough tests now. They learn from it, and they take that forward with them, that experience.
I would have to agree. And now we're going to turn to Eugene Rapay with the weekly conversation.
Hi everyone, we're here now at the Pavilion Pool. I've never been here before, but for this weekly conversation, I'm here to speak with someone who's here quite a bit. I'm here with freshman swimmer Darby Goodwin. Darby, how's your day going so far?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. So, tell me a little bit, how's Villanova going so far? I know you're a freshman. How are you liking it?
I love it so much. Sometimes I'll just be sitting in class and be like, wow, I'm so lucky to be able to go here and swim here. I love the area, I love the school, I love the team. I've made a lot of friends, so I'm so happy here.
Now, when you were looking at colleges, what colleges were you looking at, and ultimately, why'd you pick Nova?
My final two came down to Villanova and Notre Dame. I actually chose Villanova. It was a pretty easy decision in the end. I just love the team here a lot better than Notre Dame, and I really liked the professors I met with in the business school on my trip, and it all just seemed right here, so it was easy.
That's great. So I know you're originally from Florida. Do you sometimes get homesick, or, Villanova's kind of far away?
Yeah, I thought I might get a little homesick, but I actually haven't gotten homesick at all yet. I think it helps how busy I am. I don't really have time to think about it all that much, but it helps having such close friends and teammates and coaches here. And I have family nearby in Hershey, so that's comforting. So I haven't been too homesick yet, but I'm excited to go home for Christmas.
Now, I know swimming is a tough sport. You got to get up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. How'd you get into it?
My mom was actually a Division I college swimmer, so she initially wanted my sister to join the swim team just to try it out. My sister's older than me, so of course I followed everything she did. Once she joined, I wanted to join. I just fell in love with it. I made so many friends, loved racing, so I stuck with it. And here I am.
Nice. So collegiate swimming versus high school swimming, how do you think you've adjusted so far? What are the main differences?
The biggest change in the beginning was just the training. The training is way different than club swimming. We obviously train 20 hours here. That's a lot more than I did in club swimming. And it's also a lot more about the team in college swimming, more team points and relays, whereas club swimming was more individual. You were just trying to get up and go as fast as you could. But here you're really doing it for the school and for the team, not just yourself.
So heading in, what were your goals for your first season here?
I didn't really know what to expect, so I was just hoping to go with some best times, help the team out as much as I could. I wanted to be able to be on the relays and score points, make the Big East team and final and score points there. So I didn't have too many goals, but I just wanted to have fun and see where it could take me.
Now, tell me a little bit about the women's swimming team season. I know you guys are doing pretty well so far. You guys just had a big weekend at the Big A.I. Open in Princeton. Tell me a little more about it.
Yeah, we're doing really well. I think this week we're ranked 47th nationally, which is one of the highest we've been, so it's really exciting. This weekend got us really pumped up for what's to come the rest of the season. I think a lot of us swam a lot faster than we expected, and it puts us in a really good spot going into Big East in February, so we're excited about that.
So I know you had a couple of record-breaking performances. What was your mindset going in?
In the back of my mind, I knew what the records were, and I knew it would be nice to get those records, but I didn't want to think about it too much. I just wanted to swim as fast as I could and see where I could be this point in the season, and then maybe get them at the end of the season. But I'm obviously really excited to have gotten them at this meet with just a little bit of rest, so that was pretty cool.
Now I know one of them, a long-time record, 18 years. Pretty excited about that?
Yeah, Rick actually talked to me about it before the meet, a few days before. I didn't know what the record was originally, but he told me, and he told me how long it had been there. So I really wanted to get that one. That was pretty cool that I took down old records, so I was excited.
I know to be a swimmer you need a special mindset. How do you approach the pool and warm-ups and races?
I think I just listen to what the coaches tell me to do. They tell us specific things to focus on for each race and what to do in warm-up, what to do in warm-down, nutrition-wise, all that stuff. So I think I listen to a lot what they tell us, and it's also nice having encouraging teammates around. They'll help you out if you don't know what's going on or what you should be doing or anything like that. So.
Now I know you've been doing pretty well off for yourself so far, but what have you learned from the upperclassmen or even the more experienced veterans on this team? What has been the biggest takeaway?
I think the biggest thing the upperclassmen have just told, not just me, but all the freshmen, like how to stay calm at the big meets and not let it get in your head that you're racing people so much older than you, because sometimes that's a little intimidating. So they just helped us stay calm, and they really motivate us a lot, and just how to stay consistent in training every day. So all the little things that add up in the end that really helped me improve.
Now, as you approach the, second half of the season, what do you think about the first half so far, and where do you think you can take it?
Well, I think I'm ahead of the game from where I thought it would be at this point in the season, so I'm really happy about that. In the beginning of the season, we actually wrote down some goal times. We have them on a little index card on our equipment bag, and I achieved most of those goal times at this meet, which I was just hoping for at the end of the season, so I'm really pleased about that. So now I just want to see how fast I can go at Big East, hopefully score as many points, get on the relays, and get the team title at Big East. That would be cool again.
Well, Darby, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'll send it now back to Pat and Alexandra in the studio. Take it away.
Now, as many of you know, the popular children's show Molly Lunette and the Big Comfy Couch was famous. Brendan Donovan is making the Big Comfy Chair even more famous. Let's send it over to him now with the weekly update corner.
Hi, and welcome to the Sports Update Corner here on this week's edition of State of the Nova Nation. I'm Brendan Donovan, and we'll be getting you the scores and highlights from all of the Wildcats action over the last week. The women's basketball team headed out west to play in the Cal Classic at Berkeley, California. The Wildcats downed the Sacramento State Hornets in the opening round, winning 78-54 behind a career night by sophomore Alex Lewin. Lewin finished with 24 points, scoring 13 points in the second quarter alone. Megan Quinn had a double-double with 12 points and 12 rebounds. The following day, on Sunday, Villanova took on St. Mary's in the championship game. Unfortunately, the Wildcats were beaten by a strong late-game performance by the Gales coming down the stretch, losing 67-60. Caroline Coyer finished with a team-high 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Catherine Coyer and Megan Quinn had 11 points each. They were also named to the all-tournament team. The men's and women's swimming and diving team both headed to Princeton for the Big A.I. Open. The men's team finished in 7th place. Meanwhile, the women's team finished in 3rd place overall, behind record-breaking performances by freshman Darby Goodwin. Goodwin became the first Villanova woman to finish under 55 seconds in the 100 backstroke. On Sunday, she broke the 18-year-old record in the 200 backstroke, finishing at 158.30 to set a new program record. The men's and women's indoor track team got their season started at the Jack Pyra Invitational over at Haverford College. The men's team won 4 events overall. Sterling Pierce, Josh Lamprin, Colby Koek, and John McDonald finished first in their events. However, the women's team were big winners, featuring 7 first-place finishes. Melissa June and Katie Hosang won the 60-meter sprint and 60-meter hurdle, respectively. Veronica Scott, Sammy Bakoven, and Alexandra Russo won first in medium-distance events. Ann Yahiro, Kristen Erickson, and Alex Zimmerman won their field events. That's it for the Sports Update Corner this week. We appreciate you tuning in all semester to the State of the Nova Nation, and we hope you do next semester as well. Back to Pat and Alexandra at the desk.
Thanks again for tuning in tonight, and thanks for a great semester building up our fan base for State of the Nova Nation.
Yeah, it's been a great. I can't believe I remember when we started our first show.
Yeah, I was just thrown into this.
We were just thrown into it. Yeah. We didn't know what we were doing. And
no clue.
And now here we are. And
look at us, esteemed journalists. I wouldn't go that far, but
professional.
You know what? Professional. You're right. Let's just say it. We're professionals.
We are. They love us at home, so it's okay.
I mean, they do. That's all that matters.
We got all the fans. We do it for you. We do it for the fans. But it's been an awesome show. I mean,
it really has.
It's been cool because we got to learn about some other Villanova sports going on.
Exactly.
Really get to know what's going on here on campus.
Yeah, we know the ins and the outs.
We're like the insiders, It's like
Inside Edition.
It's like
Villanova.
Exactly. They have us on there. But it's been an awesome show. Been a great semester. You got any cool plans for Christmas break for this next month while we're separated from each other?
I know. Just hold it in for now.
I can.
But I actually do have a lot of great things planned. I'm going to Puerto Rico
for
Christmas because my dad's from Puerto Rico.
That's awesome. So how long are you going to Puerto Rico for?
I'm going from the 20th to the 29th.
Nice. That'll be good. Yeah. Get some warm weather. Get to the beach.
Exactly. A tan, for next semester.
It'll be looking good for the first episode. Next semester will be great. Yeah, no.
What about you?
It'll be good. Just kind of going home, just kind of chilling, getting to see some family and stuff, hang out, maybe get to New York a bit. But
city.
It'll be good. Yeah, the city. So it'll be good. I'm just looking forward. It'll be nice to just unwind, get a nice break, and just kind of get away for a little bit. And,
I definitely agree.
But I'm going to miss my co-host so much. I got to hold it in. Give me a minute. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Light hand touch.
Okay. I can make it this month without you.
You can. We're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this.
We got this. Don't worry about us, okay?
We'll be back better than ever next semester. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And as we were saying, thank you so much for watching us all semester. This has been a lot of fun for both of us. And we thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your week to just tune in. As I said, my name is Pat Ralph.
And I'm Alexandra Hernandez.
Thanks so much. We'll see you when we're back after Christmas break. And have a very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, happy holidays. It's the most wonderful time of the year. All I want for Christmas is here.
Oh my gosh, you know what? Look at this.